Hey, what's going on everybody? Alex with you here again as usual. Thank you for dropping by for yet another chess video. It's always great to see you guys. In this video, I'm super excited. We're going to be taking a look at some of the similarities and differences between the SquareOff Pro board and the newly acquired Chessnut Pro. The Chessnut Pro has just been released, in fact. The SquareOff Pro has been around for about close to 2 years now. In fact, I purchased my board over a year ago. I paid $279 at the time, but now with some of the discounts that you might be able to get at the board for close to about $200. What makes these boards similar in my opinion? Well, let's start off by saying that compared to the Chessnut Air, which we reviewed and we also set side by side to the SquareOff Pro, the Chessnut Air was a little bit more compact and was designed for situations where you wanted to maybe have a small chessboard that allowed you the same capabilities that the SquareOff Pro, like playing online, playing against the AI, but maybe something more compact where you can set it on a smaller table, or you can set it on your lap. I know a lot of people are commenting that they like the idea of setting it right on their lap because the board is sturdy and it's flat and it doesn't bend, unlike the SquareOff Pro that bends in each way. You can set it on any even uneven surface and you can have that, okay? But mainly the Chessnut Air at the time was just a smaller board, so it's kind of hard to compare physical characteristics of the SquareOff, which is made more to be like tournament size board, to the Chessnut Air. However, that's changing because now that we got the Chessnut Pro, the Pro board is in fact bigger, pieces are a little bit bigger, and the squares are going to be a little bit bigger than the SquareOff Pro, making it effectively a tournament size board. So now that we've eliminated that big difference, we will take a look at some of the more fine-tuned difference between the two boards. And I'm going to tell you guys my opinion about whether those differences matter or not. The pieces on the Chessnut Pro is going to be made out of wood. On the SquareOff Pro, it's made out of plastic. Both pieces on both sets are approximately the same size, and the degree of detail on both pieces is going to be quite similar. So the Chessnut Pro, as far as the way that it feels physically, is going to be more appealing to people that are playing on wooden boards and enjoy playing on wooden boards. They enjoy that classic feel. When I say that there's going to be difference, it's going to be more so in the software. What I mean by this is that the company itself says, look, you're going to get this board. You're going to have the ability to use our application, the SquareOff. You can play against people on the SquareOff, the SquareOff itself has an online portal, so to speak, where you can be randomly assigned to players of similar rating to yours. Now, initially, that portal didn't really have that many people, so one of the very first things that I noticed is when I was playing this game, if I were to use the SquareOff portal, for some reason, the rating was so much different. Sometimes I'd be paired with somebody that would be 100 points higher than me. Sometimes I'd be paired with somebody that would be 150 points lower than me, and sometimes you start to notice that there might be a very large discrepancy when you're playing. That's different like when you're playing on your computer on chess.com. They usually, because of the amount of people they have, they kind of pair you with somebody of similar skill. In fact, if you're winning a bunch of games but your rating is here, they might actually pair you with somebody whose rating is a little bit higher but they've been losing a bunch of games. So they kind of try to more or less pair you with somebody of similar strength level, so that you can feel like there's a sort of a chance of you winning, just, you know. So the SquareOff portal, I felt like, like sometimes I'd be paired against somebody that would be way, way different rating than I was. Furthermore, it allows you through the app to log in to chess.com. So you can link your chess.com account through the SquareOff, and you can play randomly assigned people on chess.com that will kind of pair you with the same rating that you have on chess.com or on Lichess. So that's kind of cool. Now, the biggest thing that I've noticed that kind of made it tricky, okay, you cannot physically go on SquareOff, and you can't physically get from SquareOff to chess.com website and select somebody specific to play with. So let's say, for example, that I have my friend Larry across the other side of town that wants to play a game with me, but he doesn't want to come over to my house, so he says, hey, I want to play a game with you. He doesn't have a board, let's say. He doesn't have any boards. And he says, I'm going to log on to chess.com, and I want to use the SquareOff Pro board to log in and play against him. Okay. Here's the thing, is that I can't physically go into SquareOff app and I can't physically find him. I mean, maybe some people have found ways around it, but I just don't feel like the app provides you with a direct way of doing so. Compare this to the application of the Chessnut. On the Chessnut, you can actually go into the Chessnut app. You can go into the chess.com directly out of that app. It will actually load up chess.com and you can fine tune and get to challenge specific person. Okay, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. However, it's not made directly available to you through the SquareOff app. Okay, it is made available directly without any issues with the Chessnut Air and the Chessnut Pro, which is what I found to be kind of nice. The reason I feel like that SquareOff doesn't allow you to do that directly is because they want to sell more boards. It's because if I have a SquareOff board and I have a friend of mine and I'm having difficulty where he might have no board and I'm trying to use my board to play against him, he would have to physically find me in his friends list, which is not a big deal, but he would have to physically find me in his friend list, and then he would have to send me a request by challenging me to a game once he sets all the intervals, 30 minutes or whatever you have it. Then I have to go to SquareOff, and then I have to go to the, once you load up the SquareOff app like this, you go into play online, and then where you go to the online list, it'll have a little bracket that'll say so and so is trying to challenge you. It works the opposite way, meaning that they would have to challenge you, but it doesn't look like through the app itself you can challenge them back. Okay, so it's not a big nuance, but it's sort of this little tiny hiccup that is made to where you can't challenge somebody. So that they're basically trying to very gently make an idea that, hey, if you really want that experience of your friend Larry or whoever playing against you so that you can use this board, then perhaps you should get two boards, or he should get a board and you should get a board, and then you guys can find each other through SquareOff, or you guys can find a way to link to each other, and then you won't have a problem. Okay. Yeah, there's that. Okay, I felt like even from when I was doing reviews of the Chessnut Air, I felt like because of that open communication between the Chessnut Air app and chess.com, where you could physically go into chess.com and do what you need to do, it just was more user friendly, and it felt to me at the time more like the company wants to make their software more shareable, more integrated, and have you have more options. Essentially, they don't really want to restrict you to, oh, hey, if you don't just buy our products, you can't play or whatever, you know. So I would like to show you guys here. I made a video yesterday where I connected these boards to one another and we were able to play some of the games.
So the two Pro boards here, you can kind of see that the square size here on the Pro board is going to be a little bit smaller than the square size. Actually, not a little bit, but yeah, a little bit. I'd probably say it's if you don't have the two boards right next to each other, I guess you wouldn't really notice.
If we're trying to be very particular, I think it's 2-inch square across, and then in the SquareOff Pro, we are at like I think if we're going to try to be exact, 2.18 or something like that. So a little bit bigger squares, a little bit closer to that 2.25. But like I said, if you don't have the two boards right next to each other, if you're not really like trying to scrutinize the size of the squares, none of them really feel that different. This is good that it's not 1.7. If it was 1.75, it probably would say, yeah, that's noticeably smaller, because I do notice when it's like 1.75, it's a little bit too small. But don't get me wrong, I got this board before I ever even knew about the Chessnut, so I really enjoyed playing on this board. The only problem with this particular arrangement is that when you go to the SquareOff, like I said before, you can't specifically find the people on here on the app
because you can either play against the AI, which is fine, and I played against the AI a number of times here, and you have adaptive AI where it like notice if you're kind of blundering or making inaccuracies or whatnot, it'll sort of also play a little bit weaker, so that's kind of cool. And then if you go to online, the problem is I can have somebody that will challenge me on, but they have to challenge me. Okay, so if I have a buddy of mine that's on the computer on chess.com or something, and I log in my chess.com account here, they have to find a way to challenge me. I can't challenge them. So I think that's what we've talked about last time when I made that video, is it has to be them. So it's not like a direct two-way connection thing. It's kind of like a one-way, and I have to go to like random connections and then play somebody random unless somebody specifically challenges me. It kind of makes it a little bit tricky. It's mostly because this does not like go strictly speaking into the app of like Lichess or chess.com. So therefore it made it a little bit challenging for me to, at least at the start. Now, like I said, all these apps and stuff are always changing, developing, modifying, or whatnot. And that could work. But you have the three options if you want to play online, okay? So this is the SquareOff app. You have the SquareOff, play with SquareOff, play stream games, or play online. So if I go to online here through their app, it'll find like random people here. Then I can open challenges, which is challenges that people have created, or random challenge. I don't want a random. I want specifically to find somebody. So if I can't do it through the SquareOff app, I would have to either like log in through chess.com and maybe somehow link a board, or I'm not really sure, but we can take a look at that option. But here we go. I can go on the Chessnut app right over here, and then I think what I can do is I can go online and I can go to chess.com. And then I can go through play a friend like we did before, and then I'll just go ahead and challenge the friend, and then I'll play here. So now it's a 10-minute game or whatever, but if I go here now and I'll do online, should be able to, yeah, okay. So now, accept, checking the board setup, should be able to play now. The board should be all set up like this, checking board setup. And then, yeah. All right, game, resign. I need to see the actual board here. All right, we got to swipe for chat. Okay, who's going first? I'm not understanding here. Is it this one that's going first? No, it's not. So it's gonna probably have to be, I'm gonna kind of put this over here somewhere. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it, but yes, so this goes first. Yep, so now we are able to see that we're able to play, but it had to be through Chessnut giving the request, at least. Yeah, so we're not having an issue here, which is fine. And then we do, let's say, for example, I don't know, this one. So we're working well. So in this particular case, I'm happy to admit that if somebody has a Chessnut app, they're able to do this. That wouldn't be really a problem. And things, as you can see, things are working pretty well. Okay. And then we're going to go like this. And then that shows up here. Okay. Sorry, what am I doing? Okay. And then I'll say, okay, well, yeah, we're gonna go here, and then it should show us that we went here, and then okay, I'm gonna go here. And then I'll just take it with this. There we go. And let's say I'm going to go ahead and move here. Move here. And then we'll go like this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'll take, for instance, okay. I'm confused. They take. Okay, and then yeah, okay. Check. So let's just go here, and then I don't know, just out of okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and take here. I'm not playing these games. I'm just showing you guys how it would work otherwise. So we have not really enough, but we'll just go like here. You guys can see that it's working pretty well. And where let's just go ahead and do this. Some in a situation where there's a lot of light, direct light, you know, how is it gonna look? So just gonna go ahead and cancel here. So okay, let's go ahead and do this, and then I'll just take. I'm not really thinking about the games that I'm playing right now. Take. I just kind of want to see how everything's working, and then yeah, let's go ahead and take here. For the sake of, yeah, okay, whatever. As you could see, an opportunity to play somebody in as a friend, you know, you're getting a pretty good gaming experience. And I'm sorry, I got my phone over here, but it's showing the same thing as the iPad is showing. So, I mean, overall, as you guys can see, it's a pretty good seamless experience. Now, you know, some other people perhaps might have a little bit of a different outcome, but you know, I'm just gonna show you how it would work more or less. Okay, and well, that wouldn't work for him because I'll take that, or otherwise, yeah. So let me just, whatever. I just want to show you guys how it would work, because I want to actually be able to play through the whole game so you guys can see that, you know, that it's playing relatively well. Okay, and I'll open this up. Yep. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna like set it up here as well. That or whatever, you know. There we go. Caught my own self in this sort of yeah. Well, anyways, I'm kind of getting a little bit distracted by playing the entire game, but you guys can see that the connectivity works really well. You can specifically play with somebody. Let's say that one person has a Chessnut Air, the other person has a Chessnut Pro, or both of you have Chessnut Pros, or both of you have Chessnut Airs, and it works well. It works well. We can see that I'm showing you guys more of a kind of a lengthened game here, and it works. Well, there you have it, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. It took me a little bit of time to kind of make it clear to you guys, and hopefully I've been able to clarify some questions that you guys might have about some of the similarities and differences between the two boards. The takeaway message here is that honestly, chess should be something that brings people together. It should not be necessarily something that sort of groups people, okay? We are not at rivalry here. All chess sets, honestly, moving forward, all chess sets should be able to play one against each other because people want to play chess. That's the biggest thing. They don't necessarily want to say, well, you know, I have to have this particular product instead of that, you know? It's like PlayStation and Xbox have been rivals for like ever. And you cannot, for example, play somebody online who's playing on Xbox if you're playing on PlayStation 5 or whatever.
because of that rivalry. But I can see that as time is moving forward, the Xbox is offering options to where you can play Xbox games on your PC. The PlayStation is offering you options to where you can utilize your laptop to log in online and play the games from there. So there's going to be that expansion of connectivity, expansion of your ability to sort of intercommunicate. And that's what's going to be really the way that chess sets and everything should be moving forward, is that we need a chess set that will connect with all the previous chess sets and all the future chess sets, because let's face it, us chess players, we don't want to worry about, oh, I'm going to buy this board and then I won't be able to play with my friend or whatever, you know. So there you have it. I hope you guys have found this video useful. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe to my channel, comment if you have any thoughts about this, and I'll see you guys in the next video, okay?